Hello everyone. Sorry that I didn't do a lesson last week. I went to the beach and took a week off from life, and it was a very refreshing and good experience. But we're back. So today I thought we might attack yellow. And I've done a little swatch card of the different yellows that I have. Of course, there's probably many more, but this is enough to give me a full range. These four are Daniel Smith. These two are Mission Gold, and they are not, the binder is not gum arabic. It is silica, and they are very clear. Now, the problem with this is that, or the problem that I've experienced is that they are only synthetic colors, and so they aren't true to necessarily what we imagine for yellow ochre and raw sienna, but they are very close. So this is the range, and of course Quin Gold has the biggest range. It gets the darkest yellow that you want. Nickel is the most neutral yellow. Lemon, of course, is the coolest yellow, the warmest yellow. So here's a full range of yellows, and I took the nickel azo on this one and added a little moon glow and a little Quin red to show you how the color changes. And with the cool color mixed with anything, it moves it back. With a warm color, it moves it forward. So we're going to need those, and I wanted you to see those. And if you want to create your own purple, ultramarine blue mixed with alizarin crimson or quinacridone red or quinacridone rose, any of those will make a lovely, lovely purple. I would stay away from the true purples that you can buy, the imperial purple, the dioxazine purple, because they stain and you cannot manipulate them as easily. So since we're going to be using this as a shadow color or a variation color, I discourage you from taking advantage of those colors in this particular instance. So let's see what we're going to do today. And I will photograph these and put them on the lesson. So here's the subject. I hope you can see it pretty well. And there's all sorts of things going on in here. Let me move it up a little closer so you can kind of see. And I will put this on, of course, too. And it's really a study in yellows, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. One thing I want you to notice, and I'm excited about this, look at this jar. I can't hold it up. Look at this jar, how it turns from the red. Okay, it's going to be red that we add there. So the light is coming this way. We know that by the shadows that are on the different objects. The light's coming this way. And then look in here. Here's our purple. Here's our red added and our purple added in there. Now the eggs are a whole different color. And I'm going to go with the yellow ochre for the eggs. But one thing I want to do is make sure that the colors move from left to right. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to paint it sideways. Now I have a slight dip in my, let's see if I can get most of it in. I'll make sure I do. So we'll start down here. Maybe we should start at the top, yeah. I have a slight slant on my table so the colors run. So it works very well in my favor to make that happen. So looking at our colors here, this one seems mostly like lemon. So I'm going to wet this. And I've left my pencil marks, but you may want to push your pencil marks down a little bit for this. And actually, because this is green in here, I may pull some yellow in there. We can always darken it. Okay, so let's start with the lemon, and I'm just gonna drop it in. going to grab some Quin Red. Oop. Let's push that back a little bit. All right, I'm going to come in and just pull this up a little so that stays the lightest. Come down. Just a little bit of purple in there. Well, more than that. My goodness. So that color seems to disappear, and we can darken that later. So the color, as you can see, is puddling down this way, which is what we want it to do. We want it to come this way. All right. So let's do that again with this puppy. Oh, still some yellow on my brush. Got those green leaves up there. So the paint will migrate with using gravity as its motivation. All right. This one seems a little orangier. I'm going to go with the nickel azo here a little bit. And maybe more of the Quin Red. Right away. This stays pretty light up here. Pull some of that color back. So I'm washing my brush off, and then you could use a paper towel. I wipe mine on my shirt, you know I do. So and this really reds up in here for me. Well, maybe not quite that much. Spread it around. Sure, you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's so strong. But when you look at this closely, you're going to see the value is right. I hope. It comes back up here. All right, I don't like the way that spreads. Look at that. It comes out here. Now, there's no reason we can't go over this with yellow. I'm just not, because we'll just put blue on that to make it green. Okay, while those two are setting up, let me get that edge a little cleaner. While those two are setting up, and I think I've pretty much, there's a bit more red in here. It's going to dry lighter, and we're going to come back in and intensify some of this, but it's a nice blend of color. Let's get a little more yellow up here. See, it's drying pretty fast. Okay, so that's giving us the roundness that we need and the fact that shadows are being cast on it. All right. Oh, I guess we've got some yellow up here too, where the edge of the So another thing you might notice that I did, I'm just going to pull that all the way up, is there are marigolds here. I moved them over to here so that we have that coming in. And this got too strong. Just a little bit of water will lift that back up out. And a little bit of red in here. Okay, this is still wet, so I'm not going to mess with this guy yet. So let's turn it this way now, although I would like to do the eggs so they... And I am going to use yellow ochre for this one. So they are a bit orangier. Okay, and use the queen red in the dark spots. All right, let me put this where you can see it. Oh, I got bad puddles here. Too much water settled into that space. So that comes from a disproportionate amount of water to pigment. Not good. We'll fix it. Glad we caught it when we did. Hopefully that'll do it. We'll see. I did not pat it with paper towels to lift the water because that's going to leave a mark and it's going to lift the sizing, and we don't want that. All right, just put a little more water in here for this guy, and let's see if we can get him to work. So we're doing this egg right here. Lightest at the top and on that side. Maybe throw in some sienna, and then because it's round, as you will see, light bends, and there's a little bit of light on this side, a little bit of light on each side, all the way around. So we need to leave that lighter. And I'm going to throw in a little bit of queen red there too. Right in there. Comes right up to the top. Okay. ever so light. Now there's shadows on this egg, but I'm not going to worry about those right now. So I can't do this egg next. But I can do this one. So I'll do a couple of these. Then we're going to do the fabric, and we're going to do the base, and definitely the most fun you can have without going to jail. You know that's my philosophy. Eggs are a great subject to study and paint. This one comes down here a bit. So something that's very important in this, don't paint what you think you see, paint what you really see. It's a bit of hard edge there. All right, we can come down. I'll do one more. We'll do this guy. He's got a lot of blue in him. Or not a lot, he's got a little bit of blue in him. So we'll pull our purple in there. I'm trying not to bring too many colors into this. I want to keep it about yellow. So my paper is shiny, but I can see the texture of the paper in it. It's not puddly, okay? So we got a little bit over there. We got a bunch coming over this way. It's still pretty wet. Each of these eggs is so different the way the light is falling on it, which is because of the angle of the egg in the crate. Oh, boo-boo, boo-boo. So I am using a Stephen Quiller number 6. I need to push that a little bit more. Okay, we're getting eggs. It's happening. All right, this is set up on the edge. I think I could probably do that. We'll see what happens. So you may want to do all of this. You may want to do just part of it. You could do just one of the bases and experiment with it. You could do just the eggs and experiment with it. Don't be afraid of the fabric. Let me do a little bit of that. And I think we'll go with the lemon. That's too yellow. There's a little new gamboge in there. Now fabric is smooth, so we don't want this hard edge. So I'm going to put a little water up there and let the paint move towards it. Let's do that again. Well, we can't really do that because that's wet. We can come over and do this one. So I'm going to mix the new gamboge and lemon on my palette. Something I don't necessarily do very often. All right, we kind of have a triangle here. And then this comes around and goes back there, tapers off into the corner. Yellow is a tricky color because to our minds it represents light, and it's the color with the least range. In other words, it can't go really dark. So we have to mix it if that's what we're going to want to do. Right now we've got our little foldy thing in there. And I'm going with a little bit of blue back here. On that side, French ultramarine. And then it's dark back here, but I want it to be not completely dark, so I'm going back with my red, my quin red, to get those folds. All right. Remember, it doesn't have to be an egg. It only has to feel like an egg. It doesn't have to be a pot. It only has to feel like a pot. It doesn't have to be a napkin. It only has to feel like a napkin. All right. Water up there and bringing it down. Put the water up there and bring it down. Put the water up here and bring it down. Okay, we're getting our folds. We're getting there. We're getting there. This got dry. I'll have to come back and re-wet it to put in the highlight of right there. Okay, so you can see how that works. All right, what else? So down at the bottom of this picture is some blue. I have no idea what that is. That's got to be a reflection on this granite surface. And I think probably I will come in, mix all these colors together on the paper to make the granite, and then throw some salt at it, give it some texture. All right. So when we do this pot with the design on it, I'm going to ignore the design right now. That will come later. First, I just want to get the yellow on. And I've left this line here so you can see how I built this pot. It has a neck and a kind of a circle. So here's the circle, and then I put the neck on. So I've taken that off. So now let me come back in and take that line away, now that you've seen how I built that. We don't need that anymore. And I also drew in some of the white highlights that are on the lid, the ball top here and there, so that I remember to paint around them, because at my age I forget. All right. Let's see how we do with this. I'm going to take my number 12 and just get some water on there and hope to heaven it doesn't bleed. I'm not going to hit the edge yet. I just want to get enough water that the colors are going to move. So this is actually green down here, but it's green on top of yellow. So we'll put the green on later as well. And a couple of places I missed. Tilt my head to see them. All right, we're going in. And this is straight Nicolazo yellow, which I won't lie, it's my favorite yellow. Oops. Oh well. So I think it's important to select if you're going to do a lesson, suggest something that is going to challenge you. So hopefully this will challenge you to think about yellow and how you use it. Remember, this is going to dry lighter. Yeah, this is really red in here to me. A little bit of purple. Oh, come on. Blend. Down here. Got to move fast. Let's paint is drying. The paper is drying. We'll put the green in later. We can come back and do some hard edge work in a bit, but for the soft edge work, we need to do it now. And then we've got some red up here, some red over there, some red, purpley red bits here. Come up. I want that under the green. It's casting a shadow. Let's get some of that in. And we got some here. All right, so it's starting to take form. Darken that a bit. Push that a bit. Darken that more. Our nice wet paper still wet. Seems to be taking it okay. Down to here. All right. Hopefully you're seeing that. So you have the start on all this, and then you can come back and build in the detail. So, I'm just going to take the ever so slightest bit of lemon yellow. It's just so white. It's scary. Hopefully I'll be able to erase those pencil lines. Okay. Let me just do a small section of the greenery, and then I'll do a small section of the countertop, because there is a place over here we could do just a little bit so you can see how that's going to work. So I'm going to take my lemon yellow and mix that with French ultramarine. And I'm doing this dry. These are little spaces. So this is the middle value. I'm leaving white for the light value. And I'll come back in and put the dark, right? Okay, there's a couple leaves. Take your time, not a rush. Let's see, I've tried pretty fast. I'll come in here with this guy. So I'm leaving that center vein white for the most part. And let's get softer. So even though yellow is so white or so light, it still can create a color and a form. And we'll come back and put the darker parts in later. But we've got our light values picked up there. Okay, for my marigolds, and I am going to pull them back a little bit. Just using the side of my eraser here. See if you can see that. I think so. So for my marigolds, I'm going to go with the new gamboge, which to me are the perfect color for marigolds. It should be called marigold. All right, so they're blocked in now, and I will come back and add the queen red to that to get those darker color, the richer colors in there. Let's see, this one is already dark. A little bit there. It's the right color. It's very cool that it is marigold. Okay, so we've got this full range of yellows we're fooling with today. So this should be enough to get you started. Have fun!